Hi everyone, Vanakkam. All right, greetings from Malaysia. I know some of you are away from Malaysia, but let's just start off. Now, motivation is something that is very, very important, and what we're going to talk about is something that I've created called emotion and motivation together. So it's called emotivation rather than electronic motivation. So we're going to look at only three things, which is RUR: resetting, uplifting, and refreshing. Now, let me just share a little bit about myself. All right. Mena, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. Okay. So I have been in the training field for the past 32 years, right? Started off as a guru club computer or a computer teacher at the age of 18, all right? And been with HRDF for the past 20 years, conducted over 300 plus team buildings. And I continue to do a lot of soft skill training. And one of the things that's very key right now at this current situation is our motivation, right? Now, motivation need not come from somebody else. Now, that's why my topic today is self motivation. So, how can you motivate yourself, right? Everything that we do has to do with us. Who knows us better than us, right? So, therefore, my session is going to start with e motivation. And let's go to the next slide, right? I've just talked a little bit about myself. Now, this is a quote from Confucius, all right? And I'm sure many people are aware of Confucius. If not, you can actually Google him. He's a Chinese astrologer, and he was in the 450 ADs. Now, he said this: I hear and I forget. See, sometimes when we hear a lot of things, sometimes, even when people introduce their names to us, after a short while, we forget, hey, was that guy, because we tend to only hear, all right? So most of the time, what we hear, we forget. Okay, or in bahasa we say, saya dengar dan saya lupa. Ya, sekejap je. Masuk sini, keluar sini. All right? So that is the first thing that happens. The next thing is, I see and I remember. So if we look at something, chances of us to remember the thing that we look at is very prominent, right? So that's why advertisement actually does this. They keep repeating the picture again and again. Even if you're driving along the highway, you see an ad of Coca-Cola, right? Then after a short while, you see another ad of Coca-Cola. Then eventually you see another third one. By that time, you'll be thirsty, right? And if you go to a restaurant and so on, and what do you think you're going to order? Obviously, it's going to be Coca-Cola, right? Because that's how advertisement plays with your mind. See, because you remember what you see. And finally, we are talking about I do and I understand. So in the case of I see and remember, saya lihat dan saya ingat. Okay, but in the case of I do and understand, saya buat dan saya faham. So what does it mean I do and understand? Now, I can tell you in this short 1 hour session with you how to motivate yourself. But if you don't apply it and if you don't even use it, what's the point? It's just like, oh, I had a fun webinar, but end of the day, I couldn't do anything. So my point is, make sure that you do exactly what I say, and then you will see a change in yourself, and you will actually self-motivate. I hope you got that right, okay? So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so what is emotivation? Now, all of us know about emotions, right? All right, what kind of emotions do you have, right? So normally we say angry, happy, oh, sad, oh, crying, So you have all kinds of emotions, all right? But emotions are actually energy with motion. Now imagine you have an emotion, but you don't add energy to it. For example, you're laughing. What happens? You're laughing, but there is no energy to it. Instead of ha 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 ha, that is what I call energy with motion. All right. So then when we talk about motive with action, what actually motivates you? Now, if you want to go to work, what motivates you to go to work? All right. Is it because you want to be part of Lazada and you want to help people in Lazada and people who buy things from Lazada? Or are you thinking, I don't think so, this motivates me. I'm going to Lazada because I get my salary. So my money is what motivates me. The more sales I do, the more happiness that it gives me. So it doesn't matter what it is, but there is a motive that leads to action. So that motive is what's going to drive you, and that's why it's called motivation. Now, how do I put these two together? So without emotions, you are not going to have motivation. So if you're motivated to get something, obviously you're going to be happy, right? So if let's say I'm saying, oh, I want to get the achievement, all right, I want to get the achievement. Once you get the achievement, what do? You show emotions of happiness. Yay, I did it, yay. So that's emotion. So emotions and motivations come together. So that's why I call it e-motivation. Now, how do we actually do it in the context of self-motivation? We look at the three words, R, U, R. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at. So next. Okay, now we're going to do a simple brain test, okay, before we start. Now, because everything has to do with our minds, all right? So what are we going to do is I want all of you to grab your hands like this, okay? Now, I can't see you, but what I want you to do is just grab your hands like this, all right? But before you do that, I want you to ask you this question, all right? And maybe you can text it to Mena and Marcus and tell me, what side of the brain are you? Are you a left brain person or are you a right brain person? Okay, just take a few minutes. Just text to Mena and Marcus whether you're left brain or your right brain. If you don't know, it's okay. We're gonna find out shortly. All right. So I believe you have texted. That's good. So now what I want you to do is just grab your hand like this. I hope all of you can just grab your hand like this. Now watch your thumb, right? Watch your thumb. So look at your thumb. Is your right thumb over your left or is your left thumb over your right? Okay. So grab your hands. Look, is your right thumb over your left? Is your left thumb over your right? So if your right thumb is over your left, you are left brain. Okay, I repeat that. If your right thumb is over your left, you are left brain. And the opposite, if your left thumb is over your right thumb, you are right brain. Okay, so let's look at it. Look at the picture here. And if you look at the picture here, you see that those who are right function, that means right brain, are predominantly left-handed. Okay, those who are left brain function are predominantly right-handed. Now, some of you might think, hey, I'm actually right-handed as well. So what has happened is maybe when you are very young, your parents have actually changed you from a left-handed person to a right-handed person. Okay, now look at all the features on the left and the right. And sometimes some of you may say, hey, Brian, I think I have both. Guys, don't forget, you only have one brain, all right? So whether it's left or right, it's still inside you. The only thing we are talking about is whether you're predominantly right or predominantly left, okay? So all of us have all these features, but it's just that we are predominantly one particular side. So in order to change ourselves, we need to add on things that we don't have, right? But all of it is within our mind. So mindset change is very, very important in order to motivate ourselves. I hope that is clear. All right, let's move on. Yeah, so currently I just want you to key in some of the common emotions you have when you come to Lazada. The moment you come to office, what do you feel? Just key in some of those emotions that you have when you come to the office and write what motivates you. Right? What is the predominant emotion and what motivates you to come to work? Okay, can you just key that in to Mena and Marcus? Okay, so I hope that exercise is done. It's just a self-reflection. It's for you to know. Right, let's move on. All right, now what is resetting? Okay, now the most important thing is, why are people not always motivated? Why are people always very down? Some of the things that you have said, maybe you're angry, you're upset, you're disappointed, you're frustrated. Doesn't matter what kind of emotions that you put. Most of it will be towards negativity. So how do we change that? Now, that's why we have to reset our minds. Okay, activate your mind by resetting it. So understanding your current mindset. That's what you have texted just now, your emotions and your motivations. Now, setting the new mindset. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to do a trigger. Okay, a trigger means I want you to touch any part of your body. For example, here or in your mind, just choose one trigger point, all right? So let's say I choose here, all right? So I'm going to touch here. Now, whenever you are in a negative situation or when you're not motivated, all you have to do is just touch here and recall a wonderful moment in your life, the moment that made you really, really happy, really, really excited. It could have been an achievement, something that motivates you. So whenever you're down, all you have to do is just touch, remember the good thing. Wow, that was a fantastic time, right? That was a great time that I had. Oh, that is when the company gave me the best, right? So by doing that, you are actually setting a trigger, all right? So how do you reset? Whenever you're down, touch. Think of that wonderful moment, and automatically your mind is reset to a happy moment. So when your mind is reset to a happy moment, everything that you start to look at now is happy things, right? So that's what I want you to do. So set your own trigger, think of a happy moment, and then stick to it. So every time you're down, trigger. All right, I hope you got that. Right, next. Okay, so that's what I want you to do, the resetting part, right, which I've told you. So make sure you get your trigger right. So once you get your trigger, you're done. So now let's go on to activating your self-motivation. Now, before this, I told you to trigger, right? Okay, now bear in mind, it's easy for people to say, hey, be positive, you can't be negative all the time. But do you know why we are so negative? It's because over the years, so many of negativity has been put into our mind. All right. So it's like an example of a can, let's say a square box of water, right? So the water is clear, right? And then I put a little bit of mud, which is the negativity. Then I put a little bit of mud, a little bit of mud, a little bit of mud. Eventually, that small box of water is now filled with mud and it's dark, right? So somebody comes in and say, wow, let's motivate ourselves and pours a clear water into the mud. Do you think the mud is going to change? Obviously not, right? The mud is still going to remain the same because the amount of positivity you're going to put in is just a little bit. Some guy motivated you and you feel motivated, but then you're back to that mud. So how do you clear this? You take a hose, a pipe hose, and then you pour water into that box of water. And then eventually, after some time, all the mud clears, and then your mind is very positive. Now, does this happen over a day? No. It happens every day consistently. All right. Eventually, you clear. So who can do that for you? Not somebody else, only you. Right? So that's why we call this self-motivation. How do you motivate yourself? So we are looking at 4 areas, SELF, self. So it's easy for you to remember. All right. So we look at these 3 areas in a sequential way. So let's go on to the next slide. This is very, very interesting. All right. The quote. Right. Now, I'm sure some of you know about Zig Ziglar. Okay. And he said this: people often say that motivation doesn't last. True. Well, neither does bathing. All right. That's why we recommend it daily. So how would you feel if you didn't bathe for a day? Do you feel great? Wow, I didn't bathe for 10 days. Do you feel great? Obviously not, right? If you don't bathe for one day, you feel so lethargic, you feel so sticky, you feel so, smelly, right? So what do? You bathe. And when you bathe with shokubutsu, you feel so fresh, right? Right. Now, so every day you need to bathe. Can you say that, oh, tomorrow I don't need to bathe? You don't, right? So likewise, motivation is the same. Every day you need to feel motivated. And how do you do it? You motivate yourself. Now imagine if somebody, can you go back to the slide still? I haven't come back to S yet. Yeah. Yeah. So can you think of this way, right? If you're bathing, all right, would you want someone else to bathe you? Obviously not, right? Only you know your body well. So never get anyone else to bathe you. Likewise, don't get other people to motivate you. Motivate yourself. That is the key area here. All right. Next slide. Okay, so self. So understanding ourselves in the workplace. All right. So it's very, very important that you look at yourself in Lazada. Okay, I'm in Lazada. What actually motivates me in Lazada? Is it the fact that I am a leader and I have so many people working with me that I'm in charge of them? Or is it the fact that, without me, these people cannot do work and then I need to motivate them? So diagnose and discover what is your motivation level. Do you feel happy when your team actually does well, your department does well, or Lazada that does fantastic sales? Does that motivate you? So what is the right food for motivation? What feeds you to make yourself happy? Look for it. Look for that food. All right. So early morning, for example, I love to listen to a lot of videos of motivational speakers. So the morning I hear them, wow, I'm charged for today. All right. It could be also you're listening to music, right? Fantastic music, your favorite music. The moment you hear the music, you are so charged. So decide what kind of food is going to motivate you the moment you come into Lazada, right? The moment you come to Lazada, your mind has to be full with passion and desire to be in Lazada. So find that out, get the right food, whether it's music, whether it's a video, whether it's talking to your guru, whether it's, greeting people, doesn't matter. But first and foremost, start every day when you wake up. Thank God you're alive today, because many people don't even have the privilege for that. Thank God that your whole body is full, right? You have two hands, two legs, two ears, two eyes, one nose, one mouth, all complete. Okay, there are many people out there who don't even have such things. So be thankful, right? That's number one. Okay, let's move on to next. Okay, again, emotions, right? So E is emotions, understanding and dealing with negative and positive emotions. So how I feel and how I generate the energy, people can see, right? If I come into the office and the first thing I do is, hey, why are you not doing this job? Why you never do that? Why are you late? So if we are generating a lot of negative energy, we are also imposing that energy to our staff. We are imposing that energy to our colleagues. So we don't want to do that. So understand and deal with negative, positive energy, no matter what the situation is. When I come to work, I want to make sure that work is an environment where it's positive. Work is an environment where everybody comes together without all the problems that they have. They come together. This is the best environment. So you as a leader or you as a staff, you create that situation. And that emotion actually changes your motivation. All right. So emotional change deals with motivational change. The moment you show happiness, automatically it's contagious. Huh? You say, why are you so happy? Huh? Wow, something is wrong with you. No, then you share why are you happy, right? So contagiousness, if you're happy, everybody is happy. If you're laughing, everybody is laughing. Rather than every day shout, every day feel sad, every day feel disappointed, right? So emotions are very, very important, right? Okay, next. Good. Now, what about lifestyle? What do you think is a lifestyle? Now, if every one of us have our own lifestyle, what time we wake up, what we wear, what we do, what we eat, where we go, who we meet, all this is actually a lifestyle. So come up with a motivated lifestyle, especially to leaders, all right? Especially to leaders, make sure that you live a very happy environmental lifestyle, right? So motivated lifestyle. So experience the motivated lifestyle, maintain it. Now, it's always nice to say, hey, get motivated. But maintaining it is so important. And how do you maintain it? Is you show it in your simple way, right? Every morning when you come to the office, greet your staff. Hey, say hi. Hey, hi, Mena. Good morning. Hi, Marcus. Good morning. How are you guys? Have a wonderful day. Hey, have you had your lunch already? Enjoy your lunch. Say everything positive and repeat it again and again and again. So when you start repeating something, it becomes a habit. So if something is good and you continuously do it as a habit, guess what? Your lifestyle changes, right? But you have to keep doing it. Some people take 7 days to create a habit. Some people take 21 days. But doesn't matter. Maintain it. Show your motivation. Show your desire in a lifestyle. Now, if you want to give people a treat, good. Take your team for a makan. Take your team for nasi lemak. Or take your team for teh tarik. Doesn't matter. By doing that, you are actually appreciating them. All right. And that motivates them. All right. So, next. Okay, so what about the F in self, right? Finding the motivation within us, all right? So when you talk about motivations, everybody is motivated for different reasons. Some want money, money motivates me. The more money I get, wow, I love it. I want more money, especially people in sales, all right? If they want to do well, they want more money. The more money you have, the more things you can buy. So some people are motivated by money. Some people about recognition. The best Lazada employee, the best salesperson, the best HR person. So doesn't matter. It's recognition. So when I get recognition in the context of awards, or sometimes it's called certifications. I get this certification for Lazada. I get this certification from Microsoft or Google, or doesn't matter. Or Coursera or Udemy. So it gives you a lot of recognition. Then what about achievement? I'm the first person ever to do 100,000 sales in Lazada. I'm the first group of team members that have broken every record in Lazada. So it's an achievement. Fulfillment means every time you come to work, you always complete and meet your KPIs. You always get everything done. You contribute. So besides just, some people are not just motivated by money, recognition, achievement, or fulfillment, but they like to contribute. They like to give. So giving can be in the form of anything. Giving your time, sharing about a good event in your life. So all these are what I call contributions that you can give. Right? It can be a simple thing, but it will make a big difference in somebody's life. It can make a big difference to a staff. You might just tap on the staff's shoulder and say, "Hey, you did a good job today. Hey, thank you for coming early. Hey, I like the way you park your car." Right? Oh, I like the way you give way to other people. So it can be anything. It could be words of encouragement. It could be words of appreciation. Right? Now, all this is what's going to be within you. All right. So find the motivation within you. Find what ways in which you can give. There's always a saying: the more you give, the more you receive. Right? And nobody has ever failed by giving. All right. And giving it especially to the people who need it, because they appreciate it and they passed on that blessing to you. Right? Okay. Next. Right. So how do you uplift yourself? Okay. So self-reflection, uplift yourself, as I mentioned, using self-motivation, the SELF. Apply that, automatically you will uplift yourself. Not only are you uplifting yourself, you're also uplifting the people around you. You are happy, they are happy, Lazada is happy. So it's always uplifting. So when you uplift someone, you realize productivity improves, motivation improves, sales improves, everything improves, because you want to uplift people. All right. So next. Yeah. So finally, we come to the part where what we are talking about is refreshing. Now, we have done the first one, which is reset. So you recall reset, right? So you touch a point of your body over here or there, and then you think of a nice, a happy moment, so that whatever negativity that you had is totally wiped off. Then we uplift ourselves, which is actually what is needed to be self-motivated. Okay, what's the SELF, right? Self. So what are the things that is needed in order to make yourself self-motivated? Now, let's refresh. Okay, so refreshing your mind is activate your mind with marketing. Okay, now this is a bit different, but basically marketing means that you are marketing yourself, right? So refresh your mind with vast opportunities and benefits available. So being optimistic or pessimistic. So when Lazada comes out with a new product, what is it? Oh, another product? That's pessimistic. Wow, another product. Now that's optimistic. So are you going to be optimistic or pessimistic? So you have to constantly refresh yourself. So the question is, are you selling or marketing, or are you marketing to sell? Now, those in the sales field or in the marketing field, you will understand this. Now, if you look at a car advertisement, or you look at a billboard, basically, a billboard which is meant for marketing does not have a selling price, right? Now, Apple has done this very well. Do you know, let me just quote Peter Drucker, one of the management gurus. He said this: if marketing is done well, there is no need for sales. What it means is, just like Apple, you don't see anybody selling you an iPhone. But when iPhone 12 launches, it's going to launch on September 8th this year. Now, when iPhone 12 launches, you're going to have a long queue of people wanting to buy iPhone. What happened? They marketed so well that there is no need for sales. Everybody queues to buy it. So Lazada is doing the marketing. Now, you are also going to market yourself by being motivated. So when you're motivated, people are not going to come to you and say, who are you? How are you? What's wrong with you? No, they're going to be so excited to see you because of your energy, your emotion, and your motivation. And say, wow, this guy is so fantastic. Where is he working? Oh, he's working in Lazada. Wow. That's the emphasis that we want to have. Okay. So the emphasis we want to have is, as leaders, okay, especially as team leaders and heads of departments, HODs, managers, senior managers, you live your life by showing that motivation to others, right? So motivation in the context of marketing yourself, right? So how do you market yourself? When you do your work as a leader, there's always say leadership by example, right? So when you see a leader who's so excited, so motivated, you would definitely want to get close to the person and say, hey, why are you so good? Huh? Why are you so excited all the time? So that's what marketing is all about. So market yourself as a person who is self-motivated. All right. So I hope you got this refreshing part. Okay. Let's go on next. So refreshing is self-reflection in a sense that I want to give out, market myself out, right? Market myself out with my happiness, with my emotions, with my motivation. All right. So that's where the refreshing comes from. So RUR, okay, reset, touch yourself at very angle that you have set for yourself, and then think of that happy moment so that you reset the negativity that is there. Uplift yourself by enforcing the self inside you, so you motivate yourself. You don't get other people to motivate you. You motivate yourself. See what drives you. All right. So that's very important in the self, the SELF. And then refresh. So when you refresh, that means every morning you are refreshing yourself and you are marketing your energy and your motivation to your staff, to your colleagues, and to everyone, and also people in Lazada. All right. So I hope you got that simple RUR that I've shared. And if you have any questions, right? So right now, I think we are going towards questions here. So if you have any questions to ask, please send it to Mena and Marcus, all right? And then I will get back to you on that.